Make God your all in all. Always pray. Accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and personal Savior. They said if you do these things, all your problems will be solved. The reality of life today is that hunger is dealing with a lot of us. Have you ever been to the prison yard and you had the time to discuss with some of the prisoners? Here is what I discovered. Most of the people serving their prison terms, if you had walked up to them years ago in their life and told them, I see you've been convicted for murder, or I see you've been convicted for kidnap or for stealing, a lot of them will rebuke you. You know why? Because many of these people had very decent plans for themselves. Don't screw. Let me tell you something. You see, I used to get involved in some heated argument with some people. You know, as a Christian, you sit around where people will tell you that the church was partly responsible for some of the problems facing Africans. Then I will argue. You know, I'll strongly disagree, you know, and tell them that they should not ever get involved in such argument again to avoid the anger of God. You know, but as time passed, I have personally reflected on the deeper realities of life facing us as a people. You see, I'll tell you, the church has contributed immensely to the spiritual growth of millions of life across Africa. But I think there are areas the church can do better. You see, in the area of helping the younger people, preparing them for the challenges of life ahead is very important. Let me tell you this. While we were young and inexperienced Africans, most of us were raised by parents who took us to the church faithfully. And then we believed and practiced every word the preacher on the pulpit taught us. Then while we were young, they told us for you to make it in life, you needed to always pray. You know, pray, 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 and pray. And as young people, this teaching sank into us. Most of us believe that every problem that comes our way, we're going to be solved by prayers. They told us that if you want to make it in life, that all you needed to do was to make God your all in all. This teaching sank. And then a lot of us believed and practiced and make God our resting point because we believed that was the only way we could survive. You know, they told us for you to survive in life, you needed to accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and personal Savior. They said if you do these things, all your problems will be solved. And as young people, we were at that stage where they say, catch them young. This teaching sank into us. At that point, personally, I believed that there was no kind of obstacle that could face me in life. I wasn't going to crush. As I was praying, believing God, you know, during that period of time, little attentions were paid to the practical realities of life. Most of us were not taught on the need to learn vocational skills. Most of us were not taught on how to become entrepreneurs. Most of us were not taught on the need to learn skills that could help us survive in harsh economy like the one we have today in Nigeria and Africa at large. Today, most of us are grown. Most of us still believes God. Most of us are truly born again. But the reality of life today is that hunger is dealing with a lot of us. Hunger is dealing with a lot of lives in Africa. Poverty has pushed a lot of innocent life into crime. Now, when a man becomes hungry, he becomes angry. When a man becomes hungry, he becomes desperate. How do you tell a desperate man not to steal? How do you tell a desperate man not to kill? How do you tell a desperate man not to lie to survive? These conditions are directly pushing Africa towards a very dangerous path. And that is why today my message is not against the church, but to the church. The church needs to understand that it is still very much an important pillar across African young people's life. The church should help teach younger people the need to learn entrepreneurship, need to learn valuable skills, especially when they are tender. You know, when a man becomes old and he has something doing, he can feed himself or feed his family. He barely has time to think about crime. Prayer is powerful. Faith is important. But two of these combined together without work is dead. This is not a voice against religion. This is a voice for humanity. This is Care Voice Africa. Please, remember, it is everyone's duty to help and better the life of people across our society. This message has come to you This is a call for revival. Help share this message and do not forget to follow us. Thank you.